Even in its dormant state, you'd be pretty brave to turn your back on a hunter. Its sharp, long claws are flanked by strong, domineering hands, ignorant of anything smaller and weaker. Its rough, reptilian exterior is impervious to most firearms that would hardly slow it down in its mission to do what it was made to do: hunt and kill. And yet, if one was able to get a look up close without running for dear life, there are strangely human attributes in the hunter's physical appearance that remind us of its menacing origins, but also of its tragic and disturbing creation process. Why were these things created in the first place? The answer may surprise you. Hunters have the same blood and DNA that course through your veins as we speak. Like many other BOWs, hunters are made from human embryos combined with reptilian DNA, a perfect embrace of intelligence, agility, and blind violence. These human embryos weren't just stumbled upon. Umbrella is speculated to have kidnapped women to extract their eggs completely against their will. As with all brutal experiments, most of these unborn embryos died because they couldn't handle the reptilian DNA merge. As a result, a lot of these kidnapped women were most likely discarded as well. It wasn't until Umbrella found the perfect mix of embryo, reptile DNA, and the ever so important T virus that the first hunter prototypes were born. And get this, hunters were the very first BOW ever created by Umbrella, a haunting reminder that these vicious creatures were the first step into madness and global chaos. The nightmarish, agile hunters were released in the Arklay mansion to hunt down the remaining STARS members. As they investigated, hunters flooded the halls and dominated most of the spaces between corridors. Those unfortunate STARS members must have felt hunters were a nearly inescapable threat.
What are they? Monsters? Rebecca! Is she still in the house?
During the investigation, however, the player might stumble upon a worker's diary that possibly gives insight on how Umbrella raised hunters in their infancy. It's been disputed as to what creature the diary refers to, but I'll allow you to decide if it's referring to hunters. The diary states, "Today, a high-ranking researcher asked me to take care of a new monster. It looks like a gorilla without any skin. They told me to feed them live food. When I threw in a pig, they were playing with it, tearing off the pig's legs and pulling out the guts before they actually ate it." Umbrella fed these things livestock, and that stark detail of how the hunters essentially played with their food before ripping it apart shows the evil menace behind its intention. Were these things capable of thought, even if it was the psychotic type? There were many types of hunters developed, as if its base alpha form wasn't menacing enough. Here are the more interesting ones and how each new variation progressed. Hunter Beta, developed by Umbrella's Europe facility. Improvements: faster reaction time to bullets, bulkier and more intimidating in size. Faults: weaker attacks, tumors that left them blind. Hunter Gamma, also developed by Umbrella Europe. Improvements? Not many. In fact, these were to be destroyed because of their lack of practicality on a battlefield. But a researcher that had grown close to Hunter Gammas worked out a deal with a sewer worker to keep them there. Gammas were pretty friendly at first, but they ended up killing 2 sewer employees that can actually be found in the sewers if you look closely enough. Hunter 2, developed by a rival BOW company known as HCF, not Umbrella. Improvements: far more intelligent and actually had the ability to comprehend another entity known as a Seeker that would spot targets for the Hunter 2. As you can see, the Hunter project had many ups and downs, but one thing is for sure: inhumane or not, it was easily one of Umbrella's most primal creations. Hell, it was their very first successful experiment, but the Hunter's actual practicality came into question as more and more advanced creations were spawned, creations with better intelligence. The Hunter's apparent rival were Lickers, those god-awful ceiling creatures. Over time, Umbrella and its rival companies saw the decrease in need for a reptilian monster that causes problems for a squad of 5, and the BOW market turned its attention to army-ending BOWs. And with that, hunters were lost in the mythos of bioorganic weapons. Sure, they killed many, but their evolution and the Hunter project was finally put to an end. What was your very first reaction to hearing those hunter footsteps? Comment below, I'm actually really curious. If you're into Resident Evil lore and mysteries, subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to see me stream some Resident Evil games, join up on my Twitch. If you're into other gaming mysteries and conspiracies, check out my newly launched channel, Link will be in the description, and any support is appreciated. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, stay single.